Today's video, we're going to talk about 4 video ad scripts that actually convert well. Or the 4 video ad scripts that actually convert well, because from my personal experience running an advertising firm for over a decade, and we run a lot of YouTube ads at our firm as well as ads on Facebook and Twitter and some other places as well, that there's basically, we've kind of converged all the different types of ads that we've ran. And when we're going to advise a new client on a new ad campaign that we want to run, a video ad campaign, we'll actually suggest usually one of these 4 options. Depending on the client's budget, we'll go with one or the other, because certainly some of these work better than others, but not everybody has the same size of budget to get an ad campaign together, namely to make the ad good. Because basically on a video ad, 80% of the results that you're going to get is going to be down to the video ad itself. What script you basically use, and then what's the actual offer on the video itself as well, which are both equally important. Yes, the targeting needs to be on point. You can't, have an ad going to elderly people when you're selling weightlifting equipment or some ridiculous thing like that. But you can have very mediocre targeting. Literally just have your campaign set up to blast everybody, and if your ad is good enough, it will work still, for the most part. With that said, if you want to get video ads to work, which you absolutely should, because the #1 best-selling thing online nowadays, outside of search engine advertising, is making video ads work, because you can convey so much information in such a little amount of time on a video ad, and people like to watch them. You should be paying attention to and become a serious student of video ad copy, making video ads. And it's so useful as well, because very few people, and probably none of your competitors, know anything about any of the stuff I'm talking about here. Their idea of a video ad is you call up some video firm locally, or they get a video guy and say, make me a video commercial, and they make it, and they have never made a video commercial before, or they made maybe 1 or 2, and they really just don't have a clue, and they don't know anything about copywriting, because a video ad script is just as much about ad copywriting as it is anything else. They don't understand how to make a good offer. They don't know any of this stuff. And then the video ad campaign just fails right before it ever starts. That video ad is very hard to put together. You put together a good one, it prints cash. You can run it all over the place, and you'll make millions of dollars off of it just by figuring out that one video ad that will basically work. For the most part, if you're selling to a micro market where there's only a few people that can buy this product or service, yeah, you're going to have more than one video ad, because people are going to see the video ad, you're going to exhaust it, and then you're going to have another one, but you still need to know the core principles of what makes them work. If you weren't fancy about it, you could just run customer testimonials and that kind of thing, but for the most part, if you're going to market to cold audiences, people have never heard of or seen anything about you before, or even if they have heard of you, if it's a new product or service, you got to have a really good ad in order to make the dollars you're putting into the ad spend turn into more dollars on the output to cover the cost of the ad spend, and so you can actually scale it and then go on to make millions of dollars running that ad. I'm going to talk about the main types of ads that's going to get you there, so you can at least get going. You got the right start basically. And then if you stay to the end of the video, I'll give you a couple case studies where I show you specifically, or tell you I should say, about the scripts that we used here, and then what kind of results we basically got out of the campaign when we used it. So with that said, I'll go into the content. If you don't know who I am before I get started here, I am Corey Zyman, owner of Guaranteed PPC, an online advertising agency that specializes in guaranteeing results for their clients. That is, we do not charge our clients management fees until they get a certain minimum lift in their profitability of their ads, or a certain minimum profitability with their ads up front on a new campaign, with the idea being that the profit we're bringing you in addition or up front is going to offset the management fee. We are the only agency on the planet who offers anything like this, which should tell you something about the quality of the information that I'm sharing with you here on today's video. So with that said, getting into the content now, I have here in very simple form what are the 4 video ad scripts that we're basically going to use 80-90% of the time at our firm. Okay, because they typically they produce predictably, and they produce well. So the first of which is, and the one that basically works the best but is the most expensive to put together, is a TV placement ad. So once we figure this out, this is the default thing that I started suggesting to clients moving forward, because you can actually reach out to a TV show or the advertising department at a TV show, it doesn't matter which one it is, and say that you want to advertise with them and make a deal that they have a new products feature or section of that show. This goes on, on radio and everything else as well. And there's a price for them to mention your product or service during that program, okay? Assuming it's not like a weird, like a dirty product or controversial product or whatever. And what it'll look like is just organic content. They'll bring you on as the owner. You'll quickly be interviewed about this new product or service, or they will basically have somebody from that show talk about it. But you can get this done pretty much every time. And just to give you an idea of the cost, if you're going to get on national television, it's still only between $10,000 and $30,000 in order to get this feature, which you're probably like, oh, I can't do that, forget it. Well, I can tell you right up front, like I said at the start of this video, 80% of the results is the ad. So if you don't want to invest in the ad, you're just going to piss it away in advertising spend that doesn't work or that's way less efficient. I can tell you firsthand experience, you want to pour most of your money into the ad copy. The ad will work if the ad is good. If it's not good enough, you're going to waste your time. And even if you have a slim margin, it'd be fine because you can scale that baby up and it'll pay for itself 100 times over still. On the TV show, they feature it, and then that feature is your ad, literally. The upside to this is once you pay it, there is no video production firm that you have to pay to do a bunch of work to put together a video ad, which they don't even know how to do it. And the firms that do, by the way, have lots of experience making good, highly converting video ads. They're charging $10,000 to $30,000 for a video ad anyway, because that's just what they charge. Even in that case, I could hire an experienced firm, or I could just get the feature. I'm going to do the feature because I know from previous experience running ads that's going to produce much, much better. And you just take it down to a 90-second one, a 30-second one, and then that's your ad. And that's really all there is. This works so well because people are trained to, if something's on the news or was on a TV show, a national TV show of some sort, they're going to be paying attention to it, okay? Whereas you could have the same exact content, you talk about the product in the same exact way, you're going to get 1% of the action you're going to get from it being mentioned on the news. It's just how it is. People don't take things seriously that you say. They take things seriously, or more so, a lot more so than what other people say about you. Ultimately, and that's going to be the general theme that I'm going to give you here on today's video, is get somebody else to say something about you and then use that as your ad. Don't just be talking about yourself unless you have something that's clearly demonstrable, that's believable. Otherwise, they're just not going to believe what you're saying. With that said, take the video ad, you run it, you get your tracking set up, you feed in the conversions you're getting into your campaign, whether it be YouTube or Facebook ads or Twitter ads. Use that to continuously make the ads better. And like I said, if you have this ad, most of the time, as long as you get the conversion data feeding in, you could run your ad very broadly. You don't even have it very well targeted because the ad works so good. The conversions you get, the ad platform is going to narrow in the targeting in on it for you anyway, and you'll have success. We did this for a mailbox product. We did this for a toolbox product recently. You technically could do it for a service company. There's no reason why you couldn't. And so it's going to be a lot of work to put together a good video script anyway. Why not just let somebody do the hard work for you? You take that and use that as your ad. It's easier to actually perform that way. And then furthermore, once you have that video, the beautiful thing about it is you can also use that video ad on your website as a credibility builder, so you get a higher conversion rate on the traffic to your site, which it certainly does do. You can use it in your remarketing as well. You can send it to people as part of your email drip sequence. So you can reuse it a bunch of times, and just the increase in conversion rate on your site that you're going to get by having that on there, on your product pages, even on your home page, which is what I would also recommend you use it on. That alone is going to pay that cost of that, what it costs to get featured on that news station. And then the ad is just a bonus. All you got to do obviously is increase your conversion rate 10, 20, 30%. You're going to offset the cost of that ad anyway over the long run. And then the ad, you got a free ad out of it. So that's number one. Now number two is UGC style content ads. This is going to be the second most highest producing ad type or script that we have, where essentially with that, all you're doing is you're getting a customer or an actor that looks like a customer to review your product. This is not going to be winged. You're going to need to write down the script, and the actor is going to read off the script. The script basically goes like this. They're going to say, Look at this new tissue box holder that I got in the mail today. It's so awesome. I can actually use it. It looks beautiful on my counter. Oh, it's so easy to load. Makes loading my tissues so much easier. It does this, it does this, it does this, it does this, it does this. And you can actually get it here. I bought it from here and they're actually running a special. That's basically your ad right there. The reason why this works so well is because normally on, whether you're talking about YouTube, TikTok, wherever on social media in terms of you're running that video ad, people are trained to see that kind of content on these platforms. So when they see it, when they're scrolling, it doesn't look like an ad. So therefore, because what people do on these social media websites is they say, is this an ad? No. Okay, I'll pay attention to it. Is this an ad? Yes. Okay, skip it. They do not mentally digest the content on an ad very often. You got to like trick them into it. And the best way to trick them into it so you get the highest impact from your ad spend is to just have organic content that looks like organic content, but really it's an ad. That, and people don't believe, again, what you're saying. Most of you guys, the trouble that you're having, if people legitimately knew what your product or service does, they would buy it. The problem that you have is getting people to believe that it actually does what you say it does, that it'll actually fix their problem. Well, the best way to get people to believe it is to get other people to say that it works for them, and that if you really want to take it to the next level, you get 3+ different people reviewing the product that way, and you put that in rotation so that they see one and then they see the next and then they see the next. And then the idea being is that people have been mentally involved to believe stuff that they've heard several people talking about, because that's normally how people figured out what was bullshit and what was not. And the more times they heard people talking about it, the more they're going to believe that that product or service is real. You get a bunch of these UGC style ads going, and after they've seen enough of them, they're going to believe what you're having to say just by using that simple mechanism. So, and if you get one to work, it'll work better if you get 2 together, 3, and then it'll just keep going until you get point of diminishing returns, but it usually doesn't get to like where you're at 5+ of them. And each of them work together. It's not, they see the one, that's cool, but I'm not really interested. The second one has a bigger impact. The third one has an even bigger impact, and they build on each other. So that is the other type of ad. We've sold mailbox products that way. We've sold home decor that way. We've sold a bunch of stuff just through UGC style ads. Also, the other video script you can use that we've had a lot of success with is dramatic demonstration ads. What I mean by this is if your product or service is cool enough, you can actually just show the results and or the features / benefits of that product, just demonstrating it out straight out. So it's similar to the UGC style ad, but you're doing it and it's through a company rep itself. Usually this is reserved for products because it's easy to demonstrate visually something works. You don't need proof from other people that something works if you can visually show it, and you can know its quality or will work just by physically seeing it in action. So for instance, we had a toolbox, we wanted to show the quality of that. We beat the crap out of it to show the quality. Well, then you don't need anybody to vouch for it. It's clearly, you're beating the crap out of it, and it's not a UGI video. It's a real video where you're really beating the crap out of it. So with that said, that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. As it comes to services, though, this could also apply to that. I mean, ultimately, if you get a plastic surgery and you could show someone that was ugly and then not so ugly afterwards, that before and after stuff works great. Now that you have a little bit of a problem with that, doing that kind of ad on the different networks, but there's a way to do it so that it will pass the review filters. Whereas the main thing is you don't set it side by side directly. You show a girl and then you talk about the process you went through and then show her after, but not having the before and after too close together like that. So anyway, that's in general like the other type of ad that we run. Visually, you can see a dramatic difference before and after you do the demonstration, or during, and it's really going to be shocking. Technically, just go that way, and it's cheaper to do it that way. You might want to go that way first. And then finally is the question answer style video. So this one is basically where, like, let's say we had a client who has a tax relief service where if you haven't paid the IRS, let's say you have a construction company and you haven't paid your taxes, you're behind on it because you were busy or whatever, you can't pay the taxes. IRS is coming after your business. I'm sure you've seen commercials for if you owe the IRS, whatever, but those type of ads work great and they're all doing it that way for a reason. We also did it for a client as well, where the very start of the ad is, do you owe money to the IRS? You can pay as little as $0 using this method. And that's a hook that you use at the start of the video with this basic formula, this ad script type. And then you get into explaining how it's actually possible through the rest of the video. You actually can pay $0 if you owe even up to millions of dollars through the IRS's debt settlement program, where they, you can apply and all that. But it's tough to get approved, and the best bet is to go through a qualified company that understands the techniques to get the application approved. And one of the best ones you can use is, of course, us, because we've done 10,000 of them or whatever. And that's the style of ad that we ran, just to give you one example. And you could do this for anything. Do you hate that you have moles on your face? Okay, well, this is the best mole remover, blah, 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 blah. And so you're starting with, you're flagging down essentially the person that you want to advertise, that you want to help. What it does a great job of is it gets the people who you can't help, ignore it, and the person that you can help, you're going to get their attention right away, so that they actually want to listen to the rest of the ad. Because if you go through the rest of the ad and you're like, check out this new product that came out, you already lost them. The very hardest thing to do, particularly with YouTube ads, is to get them to listen for the first 5 seconds so they don't skip it. So when you say that right up front, you're going to get a lot of people to watch the video all the way through than you would otherwise. When people skip your video ad on YouTube, you're actually paying. It costs money. In other words, you get a lower cost per view, the less people that skip. So that does a really good job of driving down the cost per view on your ads. And obviously, the lower cost per view that you have, the higher the ROI potential you have. It does a great job of getting past that filter that people have of, okay, I'm going to wait. Let's wait for the skip button to come up. And then by the time the skip button comes up, that you've got the message already out to them. With that said, there's another type of ad that is similar to that we use a lot of as well. Just wanted to bring that up as well. So, do you hate hanging Christmas lights? There's a new way to do this that will save you tons of time. And you can do it in 3 simple steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3. It's another way to do it, instead of talking about the method, if you will. And that seems to work a little bit better sometimes as well. But that gives you the general gist of this question and answer style video type. All right. Now, you can, of course, if you have a question about the type of video ad that you're trying to get to work, or trying to figure out if what you have will work, you can always leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. But beyond that, if you want personalized help, you can reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com, and I can look over your video, tell you if it's likely to work or not, how to actually get a script that will work, and we can give you a guarantee of results along with it if it looks like we can get you results. Some of you guys have something that's not going to quite work very well. If there is results to be had there, we'll tell you what we can guarantee along with it. Reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com if you're interested in that. We also sell ad templates. If we've already gotten a video ad to work for your market already, or along with that search ads or anything else, we've been selling ad templates that work for a number of different markets. We worked in over 100 different niche markets in the last 10 plus years of running this firm. And if we have worked in your market, we can not only tell you the results we got in it, but what we would charge for just to use all the winning ads, landing pages, campaign templates, and everything to replicate those results for yourself by copying and pasting everything into your own ad accounts. If you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. We got people using these templates to start whole other businesses because it's like the easiest way to do it. You look at the 100 templates we have, you pick one, you install it, and you could have a business just because the templates work so good, by subbing out all the work or selling the leads that the campaign produces, or it produces leads so cheap. Or if you wanted to get into selling product, you get the product from China and you sell it in a country that our client isn't in, never will be in, and you have a turnkey business essentially. But anyway, if you're interested in any of those other opportunities there, you can also reach out to me at my firm at guaranteedppc.com. With that said, ultimately, the other thing about video ads that you should know if you're going to be successful with it is not only, as I mentioned, is the script, the flow of the script very important, and these are the main types of scripts that work. But along with that, a lot of times have to be able to figure out an effective offer that's going to work. Okay? If your product or service is not competitive, it's very, very commoditized, it's one of 1,000, and there's nothing particularly different about it. Let's say you're offering mortgage services, okay? Just being able to show or tell them that, you offer great service and competitive rates and all that, nobody's going to care enough to click through your ad, and it's very hard to get your campaign to work. Or if you say, hey, if you're getting a mortgage soon, you should consider us because we've done most mortgages in the Louisiana area, blah, 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 nobody's going to care. So what I would instead encourage you to do in that case is to figure out an exciting offer where you could repackage what you're offering and make it exciting so that when you're trying to demonstrate your value, people are going to take notice right away. So in the mortgage space, what we did was we guaranteed the lowest rate on the mortgage. So specifically, if we don't give you the lowest mortgage rate that you can find, we'll give you a $100 Outback Steakhouse gift card for your trouble. And this guy did not even have the lowest rates. He's like lower middle and basically didn't give out hardly any of those gift cards. We're talking like 5-10% of the people got a gift card, which the cost per lead was amazing. So giving those cards out once in a while on when you get a mortgage and you make a couple $1,000 on the mortgage, it's really nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. And most people won't want to do that you'll compete against because it sounds scary and they're unsure about it and they just don't. People want simple. They want to be able to just run a damn ad and it works or it doesn't work. And if you're going to make money with ads, you got to be able to get scientific about it. Understand what's going to get users' attention and lay things out right. Because even the right offer but with the wrong flow of the script will also make a video ad not work. It needs to be done in a certain way for it to work. But anybody can get it to work, certainly, because even if you don't offer something exciting, you can make it exciting that way. That's another tip I wanted to give you in regards to trying to make video ads work. If you don't have something exciting, repackage it so that it will become exciting. So that when you say, hey, moving soon and needing a mortgage, we'll give you a $100 Outback Steakhouse gift card if we don't give you the lowest rate on your mortgage or beat the mortgage rate that you've already been offered. And then it will now work. If you want more tips along the lines of what I just gave you, by the way, I've got tons of other video content about making YouTube ads work, Facebook ads work, running video ads on Facebook and so forth. Therefore, you should subscribe to this channel if you're serious about making millions of dollars a year running ads for your business. I promise you the information you're going to get on this channel is going to be better than any other information you're going to get on YouTube about how to actually make millions of dollars a year running ads for your business, because it's coming from somebody who's done this hundreds of times now over the last 10 plus years running this firm. And I spend 40 hours a week doing ad strategy at our firm as my sole job. And I literally only share what I have here on the weekends. Most people who share what they think they know about ads on this channel or on this site on YouTube is basically just people who are trying to sell you a course who don't run any ads. So the information's useless because you can't read a book to learn how to do this stuff and not ever practice it. At least for somebody you'd want to learn from. Because things don't always work in every instance. You got to know when it works. Does it work sometimes? Does it work a lot? Does it work rarely? Whatever. And after running the same thing 50 times. And that's what you're getting on this channel. So you should subscribe if you haven't. And also you should check out my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog. The blog itself has step-by-step information on how to execute the strategies we're using to guarantee results for clients at our firm as well, with screenshots, everything you need to be able to use those strategies for yourself. That said, I mentioned that I have a couple case studies for you if you watch to the end of the video here. Going back to the TV placement for the mailbox company that we had, we ran a TV placement ad where the placement was on Fox News. It cost right around $10K to get that feature. The cost per link click on our campaign, once we instituted that, was about 7 cents a link click, which is ridiculously low if you've ever or known anything about running video ads. Like I was mentioning before, really all you're trying to do is get your cost per view as low as possible, and the lower you get it, the more likely you can get things to work. That was done not only because it was actually people cared what they saw, it was on the news, that is, it had a lot of reactions underneath the ad, and people were sharing it because it was on the news. That shows you what it's worth to do this. And the ROI of the campaign was off the charts. Now, granted, this product, not a lot of people were buying it right away after seeing that feature, but the amount of people that were coming in to the site after that, it was just like clockwork. We were able to scale the campaign. We started from $10 a day to 30 right away, to 100 a day, then to 200 a day, then to 500 a day, and then the overall sales of the company just kept going up and up and up because so many people were finding out about this product, and then once they were ready to buy, they were going through. Now we did get some direct click-through sales, but the return was over a 5-to-1 on that ad spend once you did an analysis on the revenue that they were generating compared to the ad spend that we were getting. Because normally for an e-commerce company, you want to look at MER ratio, the ratio of revenue to ad spend that you have. Because normally when you run display ads, especially particularly when you have expensive items, a lot of people aren't going to click through and buy directly. Some will not, and particularly if you're talking about remarketing itself, where they already know about you, but if it's just a cold video ad, not many people are going to click through and buy instantly. But they will buy once you give them a little time to think it over and you hit them with another set of remarketing ads. So I give you a perfect example of how well this stuff can work and why it's worth the money to go after the TV placement style ad. Now, beyond that dramatic demonstration here, so we had a guy who had a merchant processing service where, to take credit cards in your business, you need to have a service that will help you process the credit cards, assuming that you're not going to and this is for if you wanted to run a business, you weren't processing credit card orders through your website, which you would do, like on a Shopify website, you use Shop Pay. If you take orders through the phone, you need a credit card processing terminal. And you can use Stripe technically for this, but there's also other credit card processing terminals where, it's not using through Stripe or a Square. Anyway, this particular service, we had an ad campaign running for this particular service where we were talking about how the rates would be much lower if you just switched, essentially. We didn't frame it exactly like that, but we were able to get leads for 10 to 20 bucks a pop because pretty much everybody who takes credit cards wants a lower rate. It's just like the mortgage thing that I talked about. There was a special program where things were changing that this particular company had access to where we could offer basically a lower rate than they're getting now, where that typical 3% that they were paying would be closer to no percent. It was something, and with that, we were able to make it work. Now, going back to what I was saying before, you got to be able to generally have something that's exciting for people to take action, immediate action. If a product or service isn't like that, you got to think of a way to make it exciting, like we had here, in order to make the campaign successful. Because just saying we have merchant processing services isn't going to work. Nobody cares. Everybody knows when they need that, they can go to Google and they can just type it in and get it right then and there. Okay, this isn't 1980 where you see some in the magazine and you get excited about it because you've never seen it before. You'll never know how to get it again. So, but with that said, the 10 to 20 bucks a lead and closing at about 10% of those leads, we're talking about 200 bucks a deal, whereas a client is worth 1,000 plus in terms of lifetime value. Over a 5-to-1 return on that as well, on that particular campaign. With that said, it gives you a couple simple ideas of how well this stuff can work. And I didn't, mention, in terms of the flow, it was, do you want to save money on your credit card processing rates? You can pay as little as 0% on your credit card processing with one simple switch of your service. This works for all the companies out there. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Doesn't matter if it's a service or product. So that was a general flow of this video ad that we had. So anyway, just gives you another example of how to make this stuff work. With all that said, okay, as a final note, if you are looking for some guidance as to whether you have the right offer or you need some quick guidance, I've been offering 30-minute coaching sessions to you guys on this channel who are watching and are still struggling, also to agency owners to help you put you on the right track with what you're doing, as well as the companies themselves that aren't running agencies that are watching. And with that said, I can look over all your pricing strategy, your website, your sales process, all of it, and let you know if you're bottlenecked on your results, what you need to change to get you to the next stage. And I can do that confidently because I've consulted people on this exact type of thing for the last 10 plus years and worked with hundreds of companies and saw every which problem, every which way things have been done. So it's really helped the people that have reached out and done the coaching. They've really been helped just getting that basic, advice as to where to go next on their stuff when they're stuck at the level of revenue they're at. So if you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me at my firm at guaranteedppc.com. With that said, I'll wrap everything up with that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Remember when I said video ad script was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.